ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ओम श्री सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम ध्यायामि चिन्मयानन्दं गुरुदेवं महामतिं प्रेमपूर्णं क्रियाशीलं सदा लोकहिते रतं कृपालुं सुन्दराकारं समर्थं सत्यदर्शिनं वाचा तत्त्वप्रकाशिन्या शोकमोहविनाशिनम्। ओम श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम नमो नारायणाय। 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 ओम ऋतगं सत्यं परं ब्रह्म पुरुषं कृष्णपिङ्गलम् ऊर्ध्वरेतं विरूपाक्षं विश्वरूपाय वै नमो नमः। ओम नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णुः प्रचोदयात्। हरि ओम, सुप्रभातम। ओम शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ओम शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभांगं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिहृद्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथम्। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। We will start from the 16th shloka. Om भ्राजिष्णुर्भोजनं भोक्ता सहिष्णुर्जगदादिजः अनघो विजयो जेता विश्वयोनिः पुनर्वसुः उपेन्द्रो वामनः प्रांशुरमोघः शुचिरुर्जितः अतीन्द्रः संग्रहः सर्गो धृतात्मा नियमो यमः वेद्यो वैद्यः सदा योगी वीरः माधवो मधुः Atindriyo Mahamayo Mahotsaho Mahabalaha. Till this we completed yesterday. We will continue further. Mahabuddhir Mahaviryo Mahashaktir Mahadyutihi Anirdeshya Vapushrimaname Atma Mahadridrike. Mahabuddhir Mahaviryo Mahashaktir Mahadyutihi Anirdeshya Vapushrimaname Atma Mahadridrike. We have 8 namas in this shloka. The 173rd nama, the first of this shloka, says Mahabuddhihi. What is Mahabuddhihi? Acharya writes, Buddhimatam api buddhimatvat Mahabuddhihi. He is the intelligent than the intelligence of most of the brilliant people. In fact, whomever we call intelligent, which whatever level, whichever grade, whichever position, whatever you may say, whomever you call intelligent, the most intelligent people, that intelligence is Bhagavan. The best part of it is, when we look at from the common standpoint, we cannot gauge Bhagavan's intelligence and understand, forget all that. But we only can understand one thing. What? He is the intelligence in the intelligent of all the intelligence put together. All of us have got that kind of intelligence. If I ask, this I have told earlier also, if I ask how many of you are Buddhuman, nobody raises the hand. Why? Everybody thinks that I am intelligent, I am the most intelligent. And we always tell others, you are less intelligent than me. We say that even to our parents, think. It is they who has taught us everything, and we tell our parents that they are Manda Buddhi. I am more intelligent. I am more advanced. I am more tech savvy. Like this we have lot of arrogant intelligence which cannot be called as intelligence also. Think. And Bhagavan is the intelligent of all intelligence. In fact, all intelligence of all the intelligent, not only intelligent people, everybody put together is not even a speck of Bhagavan's intelligence. He is the most intelligent. Interestingly, we will find all of us actually are that intelligent when we identify ourselves with the Supreme. The moment we have identified ourselves with this BMI, the body, mind and intellect complex, you will find all our intelligence becomes very, very small, very, very limited, very, very unbecoming of the real true intelligence what we have, what we are, what we have. And that supreme intelligence is Bhagavan himself. Therefore, he is called Mahabuddhihi. Mahaviryaha. Mahat utpatti karanam avidya athava maya lakshanam Viryam asya iti Mahaviryaha. He gives a different meaning to this Mahavirya. Earlier Viryaha was power. Here also it is power only, but power with a different portfolio, if we may say so. Mahat utpatti karanam. What is utpatti karanam? He is a cause of all that which has been created. And for creating this whole world, which all of us acknowledge. How do we acknowledge? What a brilliant creation. What a beautiful creation. We see some exceptional birds early morning. we remember Bhagavan. Even the most Buddhuman will have to remember Bhagavan because of the creation of those birds. There is some beautiful country called PNG. I always forget that full name. Okay, PNG, if you type in your Google, you will get. In that country, in the, YouTube, I have been glancing through all the nations, the Prakriti Saundarya of all the nations. When I was glancing through the Prakriti Saundarya of all the nations, Austria, New Zealand, and then one of the most beautiful country, Norway, Switzerland, of course, Australia, like that, one by one I keep seeing to see the beauty of Bhagavan. And in that country called PNG, it's a very small speck in the atlas. And in that nation, that particular video shows all the varieties of birds. What an amazing creation! We can't even imagine of creating anything from that standpoint. We only talk tall of our technological development. We talk of our real estate development, the skyscrapers, the tallest building, the tallest structure, and now latest even spirituality they have started. What? Tallest Vigraha, tallest Shiva, tallest Muruga. Like that we talk tall of all our tall things. But you just see the beautiful creation of a flower, a bird. You know, this hibiscus flower, in Karnataka we call it as Dasavala. That flower is so big. There are small flowers also. And look at the color pattern. Nobody went and painted those colors. Nobody brought that color scheme into that beautiful bird. What a pattern! Look at peacock. Look at the way the color pattern of the feathers are. And look at the pattern of the neck. How can any human being create that? Think. What beautiful creation. And look at so many other things. The mountains, the Himalayas, the peaks. Even the smallest. In fact, yesterday we saw one place where the landscape was so beautiful. It was full of, ups and downs. It had its own pattern and it was so beautiful. This man cannot create, however intelligent he may claim himself to be. Therefore, for creation, two things are required. One, the power to create all of them, and two, the skill in creation. In very many times, we find in very many people, the skill itself is the power. The very skill in that person becomes the power of that person. Like a sculptor. A sculptor, what does he do? He takes a boulder and then what he actually does is, he is undoing the stone in a manner of saying. He chisels away that which is not required. He doesn't bring a Krishna or a Shiva there. He chisels away that which is not. And then you will find a beautiful Vigraha. Look at this beautiful idol here. It is made of clay. If you and I try to make this idol, instead of Vishnu, one Ravana only will come. Why? Because we are not skilled in that particular skill. Whereas the person who has made, he has developed that skill, and with that skill, he has beautifully brought out this wonderful idol. That skill in that person is given by whom? By Bhagavan. Think. So all of this what we see is not real skill, but the skill with which Bhagavan has created this whole universe is his power. Therefore, that power is called Viryaha, Mahaviryaha, Bhagavan, Mahat Utpatti Karanam. And how does he create that? Avidya Maya has created beautifully this wonderful universe. Therefore, he is called Mahaviryaha. Then comes Mahashaktihi. Again, Shakti is power, no doubt. But here Acharya writes, Mahati Shaktihi Samarthyam Asya iti Mahashaktihi. Samarthyam here is what? Again, skill. Swamiji, just now you said there is skill. Just now you said there is power. Why again one more? Why not? For one little entity which comes out of your wife's womb, one little small child, we give so many names, isn't it? Some people have got 7 names. Tata calls him in a different name. The Ajji, Pati calls him in a different name. The father and mother calls him, you father also, between father and mother also they have their own way of calling. And you will have their friends calling differently. The school, there is a different name, proper name, certificate name we call. That name. And finally their enemies call them in a totally different name. Think, for one character, insignificant character like a human being has got 6 to 7 names. What to talk of Bhagavan? Why not he have 1,000 names? Think. 1. Second point. I earlier said, these names actually belongs to us from our inner nature standpoint. Think. These names belongs to us as far as our inner nature standpoint, minus ego, minus individuality, minus body, mind and intellect. It is our own name. Now you will feel happy, isn't it? I have got 1,000 names. But please note that I, what you say, does not have 1,000 names. The real I has got 1,000 names. Now even any stuti you have, any stotram you have, any bhajan you have, Rama Rama Jaya Rama, Kausalya Suthanandana Rama, Kausalya Sukha Nandana Rama, Srimad Dasharatha Nandana Rama, Janaki Jeevan Shri Raghurama, Maruti Sevita Taraka Nama. So many names we give. So Kausalya Sukhavardhana Rama, not Sutta, Sukhavardhana Rama. Like that we have, every name indicates something beautiful, and every name when we take, that particular bhavana, that particular feeling, that kind of love and affection, that kind of devotion, we inculcate, we bring into ourselves. And there is so much of joy. And yesterday also we gave the example, Adharam Madhuram Vadanam Madhuram. You see that Lord, and every part of the Lord is so beautiful, and I am able to connect myself to that Lord. Therefore, again and again to take the name of the Lord, there is nothing wrong in repeating the names. But then Bhagavan, Bhishma Acharya, when he tells all these names, he gives a little different name. Some of course he repeats, and whenever it is repeated, some other meaning can be brought. And one meaning, many names can be there. One of them is Mahashaktihi, the one who is Samarthyam. Samarthyam is what? Again brilliance, again intelligence, ability, etc. Mahadyutihi. What is Mahadyutihi? Mahati Dyutihi. Dyutihi here means light. Light is again another figurative experience to only establish that he is self-effulgent. Mahadyutihi Bahyabhyantara, both inside and outside. Look at his brilliance, seeing the beautiful creation out in the world, and look at the brilliance inside that very brilliance which is able to create such a world. Both inner and external intelligence, cha asya iti Mahadyutihi. He is of splendorous light. Parampuja Gurudev writes splendorous light. Now when you say splendorous light, immediately our mind can only think of a big light, probably a 5000 watt bulb. We have probably seen 1000 watt bulb or maybe 2000 watt bulb. Now you imagine 5000 watt bulb or 10,000 watt bulb, how the light could be, or a thunderous light, the lightning. All are nothing in front of the brilliance of Bhagavan. Therefore, he is Mahadyutihi, of great brilliance, great light. Swayam Jyotihi, Bhagavan himself says, in fact in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad we find Swayam Jyotihi, Jyotisham Jyotihi. These statements are there in the Upanishad, and Upanishads are nothing but Bhagavan's Vani, Apaurusheya Vani. Is it not? If he himself has said, and in the Bhagavad Gita you see, Jyotisham api tad jyotihi tamasaf paramuchyate. I am that Jyoti, Jyotisham api tad jyotihi, the real Jyoti, the inner self. Continuing, Anirdeshya Vapuhu. It's a very, 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 very beautiful nama. Idam tat iti nirdeshthum yat na shakyate parasmai. Bhagavan can never be defined as it is this. If you want to make a research, let me check with all the chemicals whether Bhagavan can be brought into test tube. Think. Idam tat, it is this. Like that we can never bring Bhagavan into our limited mind and intellect's research. Think. Is Bhagavan something like the Jyoti here which is burning? Because there are people who saw light. Like for example, if you have noticed Ramayana serial by Ramanand Sagar, a very beautiful episode is Devi Shabari. In the Shabari's episode, we will see how beautifully Shabariji would clean the whole ashram every day for years, waiting for Bhagavan Shri Ramchandra ji. She has so much of confidence. Why? Her Guru has told her, Ram will come and bless you and liberate you. Think. Her Guru Maharshi, Matanga Maharshi has told. And because her Guru has told, she is very sure Bhagavan will come. When he will come, she doesn't know. Therefore, every day she cleans, she thinks of Bhagavan, she chants the name of Bhagavan, she sings the Nama of Bhagavan. And every day she plucks the fruit, tastes it. Shabari tasting the food, and that fruit Bhagavan eats. We take that episode and misuse it in our daily life, honestly speaking. Oh, Shabari also tasted and gave the food. She checked whether Bhagavan's food is very tasty or not. So like that, I also will taste the food and then give it to Bhagavan. These are all arrogance. These are all heights of ego. Shabari ji testing it is what? What is her level of devotion? Think. That kind of devotion, that love and that devotion, she every day would prepare, and finally Bhagavan lands. Bhagavan, when he comes there, he not only takes the message of her Guru and gains to know about the great Mahatma, he also blesses her with Navadha Bhakti. We have done that also. One series of Navadha Bhakti, we have done a session. It is available in the YouTube, where Bhagavan teaches Shabariji and blesses her with Navadha Bhakti, and then he gives her liberation. And at that time, if you see, there is one Jyoti leaving her body and going up. These we see in the TV. And when we see in the TV, we imagine Bhagavan to be like one Jyoti. Can Bhagavan be just a Jyoti? It is only a representation. Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan, it is said. Anoraniyan, he is subtler than the subtlest. Mahato Mahiyan, he becomes bigger than the biggest. Rather, all pervasive, Bhagavan. So, how do you define him? Can he be of some gaseous product? Like that we try to imagine, and because the mind cannot imagine the real true nature of Bhagavan, then what we do? We give him one personification. Prior to this personification, Bhagavan was worshipped as Vayu, Agni, Jala, Prithvi. Think, all of these were worshipped as a representation of Bhagavan. And later, even that people could not gain the true knowledge, because I see them every day, you see. When I see them every day, I don't get to know the glory. We know the glory of something only when we have lost it many times. Is it not? And then this personification of God is brought so that I can connect myself. But Bhagavan is none of all these forms. He is beyond all these forms. So we cannot tie down Bhagavan as this. Idam iti. One cannot define Bhagavan. All definitions are only to defy the true nature of Bhagavan, it is said. Think. Defining Bhagavan is defying his glory, in a manner of saying. Therefore, Bhagavan can never be defined. Swa samvedyatvat. Swa samvedyatvat meaning because he is of his own self-effulging true nature. That a limited mind cannot do it. Tat anirdeshyam vapuhu asya iti anirdeshya vapuhu. Vapuhu here, vapus, the word vapus means nature, swabhava, and therefore he is called antaryami. Antaryami meaning what? He is the subtlest of the subtlest, and at the same time he is the brihat. He is ultimately everything. So the Supreme One, who cannot be categorically defined as, it is this. Indefinable. Then comes Shriman, and this Nama Shriman comes 4 times in Vishnu Sahasranama, and we have already seen it once in the 22nd Nama. We also will see it again in 220 and 613. Alright. Aishwarya Lakshana Samagraha Shrihi Yasya Saha Shriman. Aishwarya Lakshana Samagraha. Samagraha means all wealth and prosperity in this whole world put together is again one speck of Bhagavan's Aishwarya. If that is the case, what is his Aishwarya? Think. Everything is he himself. Everything. Little wealth we gain, little prosperity we gain, above how much we show off ourselves, isn't it? One car somebody purchases, immediately that photo in the showroom with a big keen hand, and then that photo is taken. I purchased Maruti Suzuki and whatever is the latest brand, and then you take the photo, post it in the Facebook and send it to all, share it to all possible people, known and unknown, and then claim, I purchased a car. And we have other people who have purchased 10 cars and keeping it inside. Why? For the sake of tax benefits, depreciation. And people show off so much of Aishwarya. You go to some wedding, you will find the kind of sari. You know, this sari costed me 2 lakhs. It is all gold. or this man shows off the latest model Apple mobile. It has got every feature possible in it. So all these are our Aishwarya which show off. Think of Bhagavan's Aishwarya. The very Shrihi. Shrihi is what? Lakshmi. She herself goes behind Bhagavan. Think. That is why Gurudev used to tell, don't run behind Lakshmi, because Lakshmi never stays in your pocket permanently. It will keep on moving from one pocket to the other pocket. So go behind Narayana, she will also be there all the time. Think, all wealth and prosperity of Bhagavan is Shrihi, and the one who is full of all prosperity and wealth, who owns, like Dhanavan, Buddhiman, Shraddhavan. Here, Shriman, the one who has all wealth and prosperity. The next one is Ameyatma, which also has already appeared in as the 102nd name. Sarvaihi pranibhihi ameyaha atma. Buddhihi asya saha ameyatma. Sarvaihi pranibhihi. That buddhi in all pranis put together, and that buddhi is also measurable. Why? Praninam buddhihi. Praninam buddhihi here naturally refers only human being, because according to science, according to our understanding, only human being has got buddhi, the ability to discriminate. Whatever we see in the movies and even generally the dogs think, the cat thinks, etc., monkey thinks, and they do so many feats of activities. All these are for them, it is impulsive. They have been trained to do. They don't do it on their own. They are trained to do such activities. Therefore, you can't call that as buddhi. Buddhi is the ability to discriminate between right and wrong, good and bad, pleasant and unpleasant, conducive and unconducive, ought to be done, must not be done. Like that, the discriminative power is called buddhi. Right? So that buddhi itself is Bhagavan. Now we must be careful here. All good activities, such a buddhi is Bhagavan. All wrong activities, that buddhi is buddhi plus our ego, therefore it is our work. Now don't blame that also to Bhagavan. Right? We must be careful. However, it is Bhagavan's buddhi is inestimable and immeasurable. Therefore, it is called Ameyatma. This we have seen in several times, this particular word. Continuing. Mahadridhrik. Dridhrik, we will see that. Mahantamidram Girim Mandaram Govardhanam cha Amrutamathena Gorikshane cha Gorakshane cha Dhritavaniti Mahadridhrik. The one, we will make it simple, one who lifted the Govardhana Giri mountain and protected so many cows. Also, during the Samudra Mathana, he became the tortoise under that Parvata, and he was there holding. We can't hold 5 kg or 10 kg, we expect somebody else to hold. Bhagavan has held the Govardhana Giri and also this mountain. Therefore, he is called Mahadridhrik, the one who has the greatest power and who had lifted these two mountains. Brahmandam dharati dhrishati iti Mahadridhrik. He carries the whole Brahmanda, not just that mountain. That mountain is only one Leela, one small Leela among many Leelas of Bhagavan. But in the ultimate sense, the whole Brahmanda, Dharati, He sustains, he holds. You know, it is so very difficult to even imagine with our limited mind how can Bhagavan hold. But it is not in the physical sense. He becomes the Adhishthana. He is the Adhara of the whole Brahmanda. Therefore, he is called Mahadridhrik. Alright. With that, the 19th shloka completes. We continue the 20th shloka. Maheshwaso Mahibharta Srinivasa Satangatihi Aniruddhasuranando Govindo Govidampatihi. Maheshwaso Mahibharta Srinivasa Satangatihi Aniruddhasuranando Govindo Govidampatihi. In this shloka also we have 8 names. Maheshwasaha Mahibharta Srinivasaha Satangatihi Aniruddhaha Suranandaha Govindaha Govidampatihi. The 181st shloka Maheshwasaha is explained as this. Maha Nishwasaha Ishukshepo Yasya Saha Maheshwasaha. One who has the capacity to strike the arrows. Ishu means arrow. And the one who has the greatest capacity, Mahanishwasaha Yasya Saha Maheshwasaha. This we may take in particular to Rama Avatara. And in Rama Avatara, there are so many avatars which also use arrow. He had used arrows. But in particular Rama Avatara, we claim, we say Rama Banam. Rama Banam is Amogha, infallible. And therefore, it is said, Bhagavan is the best archer. Not even Arjuna, not Arjuna. Bhagavan is the best archer. Because that archery skill in the best archer is Bhagavan actually. And here it is said, the one who can strike the arrows at the perfect, what do you call it as? Aim, point, wherever it has to be hit. Perfectly he would hit. This we have seen. In fact, very many times, to express and try to explain that skill is so difficult because we are trying to explain that skill with the limited mind. But Bhagavan's skill is so perfect, right? Therefore, Mahanishwasaha Ishu Kshepaha Yasya Saha Maheshwasaha. The one who has the perfect capacity to strike arrows. The next nama is Mahibharta. What is Mahibharta? Again, the similar to what we saw. Supporter of earth that was submerged in the water. Now, if you see, basically these nama in this particular shloka, for example, all are referring to certain avatara. A particular avatara. Here, Ekarnavaplutam Devi Mahincha Bibharati. Babhareti meaning what? The one who holds. Babhareti Mahibharta. The one who brought the earth. Supporting the earth from the water. He had brought it up. We see in the Kurma Avatara where Bhagavan goes into the water and brings the earth to the surface. So this is one of such avatara which is being glorified. Mahibharta, the one who the supporter of the earth. Here it is physical earth we may take for our understanding, but he is a supporter of everything, of course, we know. Srinivasaha. It's another very interesting nama. Yasya Vakshasi Anapayini Shrihi vasati saha Srinivasaha. Yasya, in whose vakshasi. Vakshasi mean in his chest. Of course, there is a we have so many other devatas also in his body, we may so, in a manner of saying, where there is one lotus and Brahma is seated, like that so many are given. Here Shrihi, Devi Lakshmi is seated in his chest. In his chest here means physical translation, but actually he is seated in his heart. In whose heart Lakshmi Shrihi Vasati resides. Saha Srinivasaha. We have this name, very, very popular name, isn't it? Srinivasa is a very popular name, and Srinivasa is most popular and most opted deity for many reasons. One among the many reasons can be because he is Srinivasaha, in whom Shrihi is there. So if I surrender myself, if I do puja to Srinivasa, Shrihi will become very happy, Lakshmi will become very happy, and she will bless me with lot of money. This meaning also people have. But Shrihi here is not just money, it's not the monetary thing, it is of course values which turn to become virtues. When it is value, it is wealth. When it is virtue, it is Shrihi. Think. When the value is for the valuables, it is wealth of that kind only. But if the value with relation to qualities, good, positive qualities, then it becomes Shrihi, and that those values are imbibed in Bhagavan, it is in Bhagavan's heart, therefore Shrihi Vasati. Srinivasaha. Satam Gatihi. Satam Gatihi means to whom? Now see, Satam Vaidikanam Sadhunam Purushartha Sadhana Hetuhu. Purushartha it must be. There is one mistake there. Purushartha Sadhana Hetuhu Satam Gatihi. What is Purushartha? Purushartha is the four important Purusharthas. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. For all the four Purusharthas, Bhagavan only blesses. And the more important is for those sadhus who want Bhagavan himself as the Purushartha. The destination is Bhagavan only. The ultimate end is Bhagavan only, and rest all are Maya Kalpita, and rest all are ephemeral. Nothing is permanent. Bhagavan alone is permanent. Once a sadhu moves in to that stage of thinking, Bhagavan gives himself to him. Satam Vaidikanam Sadhunam Gatihi. Satam Gatihi. Right. With that, we will stop. That is the first line of the 20th shloka. We will continue this tomorrow. The half shloka and the next shloka we will see tomorrow. Tomorrow is our last day of this series. So we will see up to 21st shloka and continue again in the next series. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.